Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. As you know, I mess around a lot with these small 20-inch Bolins, Murrays that have the fixed wheels. There's 3 positions in the deck where you can lower the deck height or raise the deck height. You have to remove the wheels and make the adjustment that way. Here's an old rusty Bolins deck that I just took apart to salvage parts. You can see the 3 different holes here. Each wheel will have the 3 holes in a lineup. The top hole here, closest to the top of the deck, will give you the closest cut to the grass. The bottom hole closest to the bottom of the deck will give you greater height, greater grass length in your cutting. I always use the bottom hole. If you're using this hole in Florida, you're scalping the grass, and you might as well take Roundup and spray your front yard with it. Here's a couple of examples of a Hyper Tough here. This Hyper Tough has the fixed wheels, and the other style adjustment you'll see is the adjusters here with 5 different position adjustment. This is a newer Hyper Tough, a 2019 model year. So this is easier. You can just move that tab and adjust the deck quickly. This nut and bolt system with the fixed adjustment is a little bit time consuming to do. So I'll show you how to do it. This is a 2014 Bolins, I believe. I've got it up on my jack stand. I'll show you how to remove the wheels, clean them up, and put them back into place. This is what you'll be dealing with once the bolt comes off. The outside of the bolt here is a 3/4. The inside nut is a 9/16. I have 2 sockets I'm going to use, but you can use open-end wrenches if you'd like, or 1 socket and 1 wrench. This may happen to you when you go to remove them. This came off of the Bolins. It had been on there since new, no lubrication on the bolt at all, and it ended up snapping in half. You can use the model number of the mower itself, Google it, and it'll bring you up several suppliers of parts. You can reorder an axle bolt as necessary. Or the big box stores, Lowe's and Home Depot, will have Arnold replacement parts. Just bring your old bolt in, because there's different length bolts for different length width of wheels. Some are narrower and some are longer. So let's get busy. Remove these fronts and lower them down. You might want to turn the unit on its side. I've already done this. Wire brush the nut. From underneath and spray a little bit of moose piss on it, or WD-40. Let it sit in the sun and heat up. So this is how it comes off. Your nuts on the inside, 3/4 here on the outer. There'll be a little cup-shaped washer. Be sure and put this back the right way. It goes back with this low side of the cup against the plastic wheel, so the wheel rides on the bottom side of the washer. It doesn't go back like that. The cup fits into this little cavity here. So with the bolt off, you want to take a wire brush. There'll be a bunch of snot on here. Take some sandpaper, clean it all up. You don't have to be perfect. Take a little bit of grease, grease up the bolt, put a little bit on the threads, those will be rusty. Make it easier to go back on. Take your wheel, a little bit of grease, again, out here. Put a little dab of grease, and then on the inside of the plastic here, a little bit of grease. Bolt goes down. Take your cupped washer, face it down like that. And if you're installing and there was no washer on the inside, put one on. It'll help you when you're removing the wheels again. So this is going to go through the hole. I'm going to place this washer over the end of the bolt and then the nut and start tightening. They don't come with a washer here on the inside of the nut, but I'm putting one on, makes it easier to get them off. And there's plenty of room on the bolt to accept the washer. Snug them down. You don't have to get crazy. There's enough room for the wheel to move on the bolt axle. There's enough side-to-side play. You don't have to get crazy and tighten it down. So let's go over to this side. Same thing. Cupped washer down. That's how it's got to go back. Pull it out. Sand it up or use a wire brush. Get all the rust, dried up grease off of the bolt. I got grease in bulk. I'm just sticking my finger in there and grabbing a little bit at a time. If you don't have a tub of grease, you could use motor oil. Just dab it all along here. If you got motor oil, stick your finger in and get a little bit, rub it around the axle. Same thing on this one. We're going to put a dab right there and a dab right there. Bolt goes in, washer, low side down, like so. Got another washer for the inside. Snug them up. Take the machine off the jack stand. I've already done the rear wheels, so this should be level. It's as simple as that. If you have an older unit, you may have a lot of rust buildup. You may even break one of these axle bolts, but they're replaceable. Just use your product number here on the unit, your model number, 11A dash blah 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 blah. Put that on Google and you'll see every part available for this machine. Or Lowe's and Home Depot will sell a 2-pack of these bolts. Just bring your broken one in. They all have different widths here. Depending how wide the wheel is. Some are a little thinner than this. This happens to be a 7-inch diameter wheel. They have 8s and on up. But the width of the wheel here could vary, and the meat on the bolt will change accordingly, depending how wide the hub is. Hopefully this was helpful in getting you to understand how to raise or lower the deck of your simple 20-inch cut Boland's, Murray, etc. machines. I actually ran into a 22-inch cut deck last week that had fixed wheels. Usually it's just these baby pushers that have this setup. I was surprised to find a 22-inch deck with the fixed wheels. As always, I appreciate you kids coming out. Like I said, hopefully this was helpful, where you can raise or lower your deck height the way you want it. Please like and subscribe. Come back and see me. Have a great day today.